What is going on, guys? Welcome to the show. This is your host, Nick Nascimento. This is the Rainmakers podcast. Guys, today I am flying solo. We're going to be talking about the 5 T's of trust. Okay. This is the number one reason why people do not do business with you. Okay. It's not that you don't have rapport, it's not that you're not selling them on the product or lack of interest. The number one reason, proven from research, is that people don't trust the salesperson. So we're going to be deep diving on the methods that I have used to win trust with people and ultimately close more deals than 99% of salespeople and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in commissions. Okay. If you guys are wondering who I am the owner of Sparta Solar. We have about almost 50 salespeople right now. We're on pace for about 30 million in revenue our first year of business. An amazing team, amazing crew, super grateful and blessed to be working with such good people. This company has stemmed from, it's an extension from my personal success in selling. I was doing, 6 figures a month in solar. I've been doing sales for over a decade, and I'm just fallen in love with the craft. I've always performed well, and I always credit it to, the desire to serve people, outwork other people, and genuinely connect with other people. So I want to share some of these things that I've learned over the years from trial and error, and share some gold nuggets with you guys. I hope it's valuable. Would love if you guys leave a positive review on the podcast if it does bring any value to you guys. So with this, okay. So have you ever heard somebody say, people don't buy your product, they buy you? Let me tell you, that is wrong. Okay. 90% of deals that aren't closed with a prospect, okay, it was not due to a lack of interest, but it was due to a lack of trust. Okay. So have you ever pitched a product, you won over the prospect, you got their interest, okay, but you didn't get the deal, and then they end up buying from somebody else? Okay. You all know what I'm talking about. So the problem was trust. It wasn't the company. It wasn't the product. It wasn't the price. It's trust. Okay. Half of selling is getting someone interested in your product. The other half is getting them interested in you. And getting them interested in you, let me be very clear, is not just rapport. Okay. And it's not your enthusiasm. The key thing is trust. And so we're going to be talking about the 5 T's of how to build the trust. Okay. Teaching, transparency, testimonials, touch, and time. All right. So let's jump into this. Okay. So hold on, let me back up here. So any intelligent person, like, they won't make a decision after receiving information from a biased opinion. We just don't do it as people. Okay. A biased opinion is a salesperson or anybody that makes a commission on a deal. Okay. So this system, these 5 T's of building trust, are going to speed that process of building trust and decrease the buying resistance. Okay. So the first one is teach, don't sell. So everybody has their salesman wall up. Okay. So you can pull this wall down. And I literally would tell my prospects, hey, I'm not here to sell you or persuade you on one way or another. I'm here to teach you. So you actually tell them this. Say, hey, look, I'm no genius, but there's a few things that I know better than 99% of the world. For me, it's this one topic, okay, which is the topic on your product. And I'm here to teach you guys about what you're probably doing and how there might be other options. And I don't know if it's going to be a fit, okay, but I'm here to add value. I'm completely detached, okay? So you're teaching them with a perspective of, I've detached myself from all expectations of this going through. I purely want to add value and help you guys if possible. Okay. People are more persuaded, guys, by information when they think it's not intended to persuade them. If anybody is listening to the most persuasive person, okay, the most persuasive speech, sales pitch, and they know they're trying to be sold, there is a wall up. It's a mental wall that the prefrontal cortex puts up. All right. And so when you teach people and you take this perspective, this approach, along with other things that we'll talk about, it pulls down the wall. Okay. So again, you want to remove the tension and stress that, hey, like, I'm here to sell you and I'm here to teach you. Okay. So there's a quote I love. It's a principle. The teacher appears when the student is ready. Okay. And there's no student that is ready until there is a problem that is perceived. Okay. So people can have problems, but it's until that the problem is perceived that they have a desire to change. So master salespeople are not masters at just pitching a solution. They're problem finders. Okay. You have to identify, find, and then teach and help the prospects see the problem for themselves. Okay. And articulating and communicating effectively in such a simple manner is key. Okay. So one of the most effective forms of teaching, guys, there's two: asking questions and storytelling. So you want to ask questions focused around selling the problem, not the solution. Okay. The greater the pain, the greater the desire that somebody has to solve that pain, that problem, by buying from you. Okay. So to the degree that they feel the pain will be to the degree that they have a desire to do business with you, period. Okay. So you don't need to get good at pitching the solution. It's always pitching the problem. That should be the focus for you. Okay. So number 2 is transparency, pros and cons. The key here is beat your prospect to objections. Do not overcome objections, guys. They are to be prevented. And I'm telling you, if you wait for your prospect to bring it up, you've already lost trust. If you beat them to it, it's like, oh, hey, this is different. We weren't expecting you to tell these things to us. You want to bring them up and show that you have nothing to hide. Okay. You shouldn't have anything to hide. So telling them only positive things makes people trust you less, thinking it leaves them to think, what's the catch? Or this has got to be too good to be true. Okay. Nobody trusts a quote unquote yes man telling them what they want to hear. Okay. Now, when you tell them something that could potentially, be a negative, it actually wins people over. You start gaining their trust. And what most salespeople don't understand is that what you think is a problem usually isn't a problem. Now, if they bring it up first, it will become a problem. It's harder to overcome. If you bring it up, oh, no big deal, right? With contracts, with anything, with the terms, the interest, like whatever, don't feel like you have to hide things, guys. All right. So be transparent. You'll feel better. Your energy will be more real and authentic. And when you're authentic, you actually vibrate at the highest frequency of attraction. So trust me, try being transparent. Okay. Number 3 is testimonials. Okay. Have buyer testimonials printed, video recorded, online. Okay. The principle here is show, don't tell. All right. 95% of people are imitators. Okay. AKA 95% of people copy what other people do. Only 5% of people are initiators. So 95% of your prospects make decisions based on what other humans do. Okay. There's a principle of influence called social proof. This is largely why Amazon has become so successful. Okay. They offer you tens of thousands of opinions with every single purchase you make. We think Amazon has become Amazon because they have made things convenient. Yes, they have. That's one of their focuses, but not just on delivery, convenes on decision fatigue. Okay. When they first started, they were a bookstore and they're competing with Barnes and Noble, right? They're an online bookstore basically. And the difference was them just showing reviews for other books where you don't get that at Barnes and Noble. And so people were a lot more informed making decisions. Okay. So this plays on social psychology. Just this is how humans are wired. We look to others for validation and justification for almost everything we do. Okay. As a salesperson, you are a biased opinion, guys. Okay. Because you make a commission. Pretty common sense. So customers that have a good experience are not biased. All right. Now, even you have to be careful with your referrals. Like when you have clients refer their friends and call them up, some people can catch on to the fact that, oh, this person's probably get a finder's fee for referring me. So that can even be a biased opinion and will trigger people's sales resistance. All right. So okay, the final part here is storytelling with testimonials. Okay. Client success stories are massive. And when you tell stories of other clients, just the art of storytelling in itself, you bypass the prefrontal cortex, which is that sales resistance, that barrier of overthink. Okay. And you go straight to the subconscious mind. So you go straight to what's helps them make decisions. Okay. And their limbic brain, their emotional side. And you're bypassing the prefrontal cortex. And then you're basically detached, from persuading them. They don't feel like they're getting persuaded. Then you can tell a story about somebody and they're actually listening to you, right? They're hearing the story about the testimony. It's one of the most persuasive ways to win people over. Okay. Okay. Number 4 is touch, physical touch. So we're talking about like little arm taps, little gestures, handshakes. Okay. The hormone associated, there's actually a thing called oxytocin. Okay. And when there is physical touch, uh, oxytocin is a hormone that is known for bonding and trust. Okay. It's not just sex. It's literally just arm taps, handshakes, putting your arm on someone's shoulder, things like that. So you want the thing here you're trying to do is humanize yourself and connect with people. Okay. Don't do this to become manipulative, and don't be weird. Okay. There's about 3% of the population, from my experience doing this, where they'll be weirded out by this. Okay. But you'll win with it 97% of the time. You'll get some of those weird dudes that are like, bro, don't touch me. Okay. Just laugh it off. Those guys are weird. Nobody's going to sell them anyways. Okay. For the 97% of everyone else, it helps connect and people like it as long as you're being genuine. Okay. These are not supposed to be tactics. These are things that just should help you be more genuine and ultimately just connect with people. That's what selling is, guys, is you have something that you can potentially use to serve somebody if it's a fit, and you're using these methods to help connect better so you can build a relationship and actually serve them in their life with your product or service. Okay. All right. So number 5, time. So depending on the price of what you sell, sometimes more time is required. Excuse me, in order for them to trust you. Okay. So I've seen reps before say, hey, like I closed this deal super fast. It only takes me 45 minutes, where in our industry, it usually takes an hour and a half. There should be no ego there, because when somebody says that, I'm like, oh, so your attrition is probably over 50%, right? And it's almost always an astounding yes, right? So now there's this healthy balance of like, you don't need to spend 3 hours, right? There's a happy medium, and you have to find that out for your industry. Okay. But the general rule of thumb here is the higher the ticket to sale, the higher the amount of time. And with that, okay, the higher the ticket to sale, also the less pressure that you can apply. So if you hard close on bigger ticket sales, it will backfire. You'll lose deals. You have to play the easy, chill game. Okay. With lower ticket sales, they require less time, less rapport, and then you can use more high pressure, which I'm not a fan of myself, but you can close more, and it won't backfire as much with lower ticket items. Okay. It's usually encouraged. So that's a wrap. That is those are the 5 T's to building trust, guys. Hopefully you got at least one golden nugget. If you did, please, I'd love a review for the show. We're trying to grow this to impact more salespeople, bring transparency, integrity to the sales community, and help people ultimately help and serve families and individuals. That's what sales is. So if that is you, please, I'd love for you to leave a 5-star review so we can have a bigger reach and ultimately have a much more success and fulfillment as salespeople and as entrepreneurs. Thank you, guys.